Thank you for leaving your dials locked on your radio experience. You can count on. It's 1 minute past 9 o'clock. Today is Thursday, 16th of December, 2021. You're on the Eagles Outlook. And this morning, we seek to discuss the DSS warning or alert of lawmakers as to, them being susceptible to kidnappings and even killings as they go on recess. We're talking about that this morning with Dr. Sani Aliyu, who is the Commandant General of Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization. Thank you so much, Dr. Aliyu, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Hinas. Good morning out there, Nigerians.
Right, and the conversation continues. You can be a part of it. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. You can send us a message on 090-9705-4450. And my name, by the way, is Ihianacho Prince. Well, Dr. Lee, we started yesterday, about a report where the DSS was warning the National Assembly members and even State Assembly members of threats as they go on recess, that some of them may be kidnapped or even lose their lives. And just while that's happened, while Nigerians were still digesting that report, the report of the death of a Kaduna State House of Assembly member was reported. He was killed along the Kaduna Zaria Road, along with about 30 people who were kidnapped. As a security expert, do you think that the DSS, handled that information right? Because many National Assembly members who had been contacted said they did not get any proper warning or advisory from the DSS. Rather, they read it the same way that every other Nigerian read it on the newspapers.
Well, I think I'm not part of the DSS. I don't know the operational operandi on how to give out their informations. But whatever it is, I think under normal situation, from the bystanding position, I think it will have been right for them to send such report to the National Assembly, to the heads of the National Assemblies, maybe the Senate and the House of Reps, and probably dispatch the same information to all the state speakers of houses of assembly.
Now, with what happened yesterday, people are saying the security situation is, deteriorating by the day. Non-Nigerians are becoming, terrified and worried about the situation. With the situation where VIPs and those who naturally would refer to as VIPs are becoming targets, what does it say to you as a security expert?
Well, it's not surprising to see that they are becoming targets or they are already targets, because over the years we have been warning, if you think the beard of your neighbor is on fire and that yours is not on fire, you don't care to put water on it, yours may be the next beard to be on fire. So what is happening now is no surprise. The security situation in the country is actually deteriorating by the day, and I don't think they have clear solutions to it now. But we've been calling on the federal government and the security expert agencies across the country that they cannot do it alone. First of all, they are lacking in numbers, they are lacking in technology, so they cannot deliver. They must partner with people like us, with people like NESO and other outfits, security outfits out there. We are registered as security outfits, as paramilitary NGO. So we have some like that, or a few of them that can actually help them out. For instance, just 2 days ago at the Defense College, one of my officer with the name Hajia Zara Mohammed was called by the Nigerian Institute of Security and Strategic Studies, and they award her with honor because of her role, the role she played during the joint military operation at Benin Sheikh, where the military retrieved and she stood her ground and she deleted 75 of Boko Haram's members. So you see, it is not only the military that can actually involve in all this situation. And my officers have been up and doing and at the front, war front of the fight against the terrorists. So in this part of the country where you have bandits, we can equally play a major role in trying to solve the situation. We have proposed this to the federal government, to Buhari government, sent in our proposal to the government that they should give us only 3 months to clear Kaduna-Abuja road. Only 3 months.
If the military couldn't do it or haven't been able to do it, the police,
I just told you,
CDC.
I just told you about a joint military operation where the military retrieved and one of my officers stood and she deleted 75 of Boko Haram members. It doesn't take anything from us. It doesn't. If the military are operating under some kind of conditions of operations, our own condition of operation is completely different. They should give us a try and see what happens. Just in 3 months, we clear all this nonsense. These are miscreants trying to, delineate the position of our military. I mean, it's very saddening when you see a miscreant, the Nigerian military grappling with miscreants. What rubbish! The military are supposedly primarily to protect the national territorial integrity, and they are not to involve in anything internal security. This is completely unacceptable. This is bringing down the military power of Nigeria as to the position of Nigeria in Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So we must devise a means. When this thing was happening to America, quickly they run and organize what is called Homeland Security. What stopped our government to look at organizations like ours with over 70,000 well-trained boys and youths to come up on board to make the Homeland Security, to make sure that we are the one to handle this situation. None of us is running away from them. We are fired. We are the only NGO stated by the former DSS Director General Lord Daura that in his entire life as an agent, he have never seen an organization, an NGO that is treading on the hardest part outside NESU. And when the American came from the Pentagon House, and even the European Union came through border post security to our office in Abuja here, all of them declared that they have never seen NGO like us in the whole of Africa. So what is stopping Nigeria to utilize that position, to utilize this opportunity? The opportunity is there for Nigerian government, but they are not utilizing it.
Have you presented yourself to say, let's do this, we want to do this for the country? There's something called patriotism. Why have you taken it up on yourself, to protect certain communities and all?
Patriotism is what makes us be doing what we are doing. Remember, the war against terrorism is even the police, not only the Nigerian police elsewhere in the world, they're chicken out of it. They're chicken out of it. But we are civilians, just constituted ourselves as NGO, trained ourselves, and we are going for it, and we are still in it, because my boys are still in Sambisa Forest. They are still there. We are still there. We are still at the front line. So I mean, do we need to advertise ourselves again to the government of Nigeria? If American Pentagon House will identify NESO and come to NESO office in Abuja, and border poll European Union will identify NESO and come to NESO office in Abuja, and then Nigerian government will say they are waiting for us. What patriotism do they want again? When we have sacrificed our lives in the front line to achieve peace in Nigeria and security, what other patriotism do you want? Nobody is paying us any kobo. We are volunteers. Nobody is paying us 1 naira. And we have been in this for as long as Boko Haram has been existing. NESO has been there, helping out. And that's why 90% of what we call civilian JTF members are constituted by NESO officers.
Now, looking at the war against insurgency in the country, would you say what's happening in the south, in the northeast rather, has taken a different shape from the banditry that it used to be to full-blown terrorism? Looking at how events have played out in the past few weeks with the killing of people in Sokoto, the burning of passengers in Sokoto, that of the Zaria-Kaduna Road and the Abuja-Kaduna Highway.
In 2012-13, on some radio programs and television programs, I actually highlighted this situation. I warned about this situation, that if it is not well tended, the first in contact with Boko Haram will be brainwashed, and they will spread elsewhere in Nigeria. They will spread not only in the north. Some of them are already in the south, in the southwest. I'm telling you this. They will spread. And by the time it will come up, it will be a very huge. I mean, when Boko Haram came to Nigeria, all the security agents were like, "Oh, they don't even understand what it is." It was late. It was. They learned how to fight, how to wage war against them while the thing is already operating. But when we were warning at the fall of Libya is going to precipitate and bring some dangers into Nigeria, nobody was listening. When we were warning that they should be able to deal with a Boko Haram situation so that it will not precipitate into other parts of Nigeria, nobody was listening. When they even came, when ISIS first came to Kaduna to carry out survey at Birnungwari and the rest of the forests, we gave such warnings. Nobody listened. So
you gave these warnings.
We gave all these warnings, even on radio. Even on radio, even on television program. I will keep saying it, like I'm talking now, that's the way we are talking. And I'm telling you, this thing, if the government thinks it's a child's play, then they are not yet awakening. Because if you look at during Jonathan completely was in denial of Boko Haram in the first instance as the head of state, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. At the second instance, he said even his cabinet members are involved. So what are we saying? We can deal with this situation only when we go to the root causes of this situation and the backbones and the supporters where they are getting funding from. This is organized crime, for goodness sake. It is not happening from paraventurally. No, it's organized. There are people that are supporting and sponsoring all these things that are happening, and we must deal with those situations. We must get those people to book. If we are taking all these things with lazy hands, then it means that Nigeria will continue to burn further.
We'll be talking more about sponsors and those who may be behind the scenes, fueling the insecurity in the country. Stay with us on your radio experience you can count on. We'll be talking more with Dr. Sani Aliyu, who is the Commandant General of NESO. Stay with us.
Eagles 102.3.
Are you ready for this? Brace yourself up for the new sound of radio. Eagles 102.3 Abuja. 2.3 Abuja. Let's spice up your day. Tune into a breath of fresh air. It's all fun and games until it gets extra and better. 102.3 Extra, weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Oli J. Cheers to something new.
The method of fight is...
It's Tongue Twister Friday.
What's going on, yeah?
Repeat a phrase 5 times real fast without mispronouncing any word.
Fantabulous.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
I used to wash my Irish fish, but I used to wash my Irish fish, but I used to wash my Irish fish, but I used to...
You were like my Irish fish wash.
How fast do we get out this?
Goggles, gobble, gobbling, goblins.
You don't know why it's going on.
Give it a try on the Friday Traffic Rush at 5 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Download the Eagles FM app from Android Store or Apple Store.
And get the greatest music ever made.
The music of my generation.
You can watch us live or stream live on YouTube, Facebook, and the official website www.eaglesfm.com. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. Eagles Morning Rise with
Prince. 19 minutes on 9 o'clock. This is your radio experience. You can count on. You're on to Eagles Outlook. This morning, we're talking about the DSS warning to lawmakers across the country. And, well, the killing of a Kaduna State lawmaker who was killed on the Kaduna Zaria Road yesterday. Rewan Gadagao, who until his death was the chairman committee on local government and rural development in the House of Assembly. Our guest this morning is Dr. Sani Aliyu, who's talking with us here and sharing thoughts with us. He is the Commandant General of the Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization, NESO, a security expert. You can join the conversation. Feel free to dial 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Send us a message on 090-9705-4450. Now, Dr. Liu, let's talk about the sponsors and those who may be supporting the insecurity or fueling the insecurity in the country. You mentioned earlier that we need to tackle the root cause, tackle them from those who may be sponsoring them. And over time, Nigerians have also called for the federal government to name the sponsors, because I mean, we've had federal government say we know the sponsors, we've identified some of the sponsors of Boko Haram and banditry and all of that, but then it is not putting out those names in public so that people can know them. When criminals are declared wanted, the entire nation knows who we're looking for. Do you think that would be the right step in the right direction to name the sponsors? Because that's what many Nigerians have called for. The federal government is saying it's not just all about naming the sponsors, it wants to prosecute them.
Yes, the first and foremost, you must be able to substantiate your claims or allegations before you can bring someone out. If, for instance, you bring a face and after going to court and the court found him not guilty, already you have caused him damage. So it is not easy for you to just start naming people you suspect to be sponsors of terrorism and banditry. All the government need to do is to put its dragnet proper, and not to just say so and go back and stay without taking any action. Those that are suspected should be arrested, and they should be investigated properly and carefully, and then prosecuted. When they are found guilty, their faces can then be let out for people to see. If you look at what is happening now, human rights protection and so on and so forth, even if you get some criminals, suspected criminals on television, you see they put blood on their faces to protect their identity in the meantime until they are found guilty of the said offense. So I think the government should show to Nigerians some sign of seriousness by prosecuting one or two of these people they suspected to be a sponsor, and when they found guilty, they should make that known to the people, to the public, so that Nigeria will have, for once, a surety that the government is going and doing on the right direction.
All right. So just a few days ago, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo said, well, this administration has nothing more to offer when it comes to insecurity or dealing with insecurity. And the Minister of Information had a response to that. Let's hear what he had to say.
I welcome you to this press conference. The polity has recently been awash with heightened commentary on the security situation in the country. The commentary has been triggered by genuine concerns in some circles and crass politicking or sheer absurdity in others. Since assuming office in 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari has continued to make the issue of security a major plank of his administration's policy. This is not a surprise, considering the fact that the fight against insecurity is one of the 3 priority areas of the APC-led federal government. Yes, the security situation has continued to pose a great challenge. But amidst the cacophony of voices, some genuinely concerned about the situation and others ready to exploit it for selfish ends, it is easy to forget where we are coming from. Today, we only look at the current situation without wondering what would have been had this president not taken the bull by the horns as far as security is concerned. With the way the insurgents were going before this administration came into office, with the control of a vast swath of land the size of Belgium, with their freewheeling attacks in almost a dozen states, including the Federal Capital Territory, which was hit at least 5 times. Perhaps they could have achieved their aim of declaring an Islamic State in Nigeria if President Muhammadu Buhari had not acted decisively.
And that's the Minister for Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, there speaking. Now, as a security expert, he was alluding to the fact that, well, it seems that he was should I say, speaking in light that things seem a little better now, or things may be better now than it was in 2015. And many Nigerians seem to disagree with that. If you go on social media, a lot of Nigerians are saying that's not true, that the situation has deteriorated. It's worse than it was in 2015. How do you, as an expert, assess the progress or not made over time?
You see, first of all, I would say Obasanjo is not the right person to make such comment, because as far as I'm concerned, Obasanjo is part of the problem we are facing today. Where was he when he was legalizing illegality of the act of the Odua People's Congress? And that gave birth to Niger Delta militants, and that gave birth to Boko Haram too. Obasanjo was the beginner of all this insecurity in Nigeria. That's a very big allegation. That's a very strong allegation.
I don't think that would be the right thing to say.
Personal opinion.
That the president of the country at the time began any form of insecurity.
He was tolerating miscreants. He was giving a ride for the Odua People's Congress leader, Gani Adams, presidential flight to come to Abuja to wine and dine with him, just like Jonathan did with the what do you call them, the Niger Delta militants. So all this gave rise to what we are having today. And when you are talking about 2015,
hold that thought. Let's bring in a caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Who are we on to?
Yes, you're speaking with Gado from Abuja.
Ricardo?
Gado.
Oh, Gado, it's good to have you. How are you?
I'm very fine. Are you?
I'm very well. Go ahead. Let's hear you, please.
Well, your guest is really making huge, let me say, allegations. But I wish to state that if we are where we are today, and this administration came into power on the basis of promising security. In fact, the president during his campaign had said he was going to tackle insecurity within the space of 6 months. Here we are, we have seen heightened situation of insecurity spreading across the length and breadth of the country. We are seeing banditry, terrorist activities of the Boko Haram, spreading beyond imagination. And then Lai Mohammed, in the speech you just played, can say to us that if this government had not taken over, possibly the country, they would have established Islamic State in Nigeria. Have they fared any better? Have this administration then done any better? in tackling the insecurity. Why is it that the issue of the Kaduna-Abuja road has become so much of a thorn on the flesh of the Nigerian army and on the thorn of and the flesh of Nigeria? That only that route alone cannot be tackled. No, that is a failure. How much more of the one of Kaduna and the one of Benungwari? How much more of the carnage in Sokoto, the carnage even in Katsina? Then we wake up in the morning and then we say that it is better. No, sir, it is not. The government is not living up to its responsibility. And if the primary responsibility of any government is to ensure the safety of lives and properties of Nigerians cannot be guaranteed, then the government is failing. So it is important that at this point in time, you realize that the fact that they're not doing enough, and therefore they need to step up. Over the years, we have had government, successive governments, telling us that they were going to name the sponsors of Boko Haram. Jonathan did say that. His government have reiterated the same. But what is so difficult in making known or exposing these sponsors until we are able to address this issue, we are able to arrest this sponsor, we are able to bring this issue to a stop from the root, then we'll continue to witness the fledgling muscles of this insurgency. God forbid. Unfortunately, that is how it seems to be going. We need to have a government that is sincere and ready to act. And therefore, it is important that this government take responsibility. Remember, just of recent, I think the ECOWAS, I saw a post, is it the newspaper publication, where the ECOWAS talked about billions of naira that are siphoned through Nigeria's financial system. How is this possible? And the government would not know. Money that have been used to sponsor insurgency have been used. How is it possible that the government cannot be aware? If the government is looking for an individual, they will look for every means to track you. But when it comes to issue of insurgency, they lack ideas. They cannot go about tracking them. That somebody is not saying the truth in this country, and they are beginning and consistently beginning to play politics with the lives of Nigerians. And Nigerians are saying, look at the ongoing protests in some parts of the north.
All right, Gado.
Now, before I round up, you see this. We need to come to that point where we hold the government responsible. That the government needs to do a lot more. And until then, you see DSS warning the elite. It is not about the elite. It is also about Nigerians. They are not superior or better than every other Nigerian. A lot needs to be done. And the earlier we do it, the better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gado, for calling in. Now, how do you respond to Gado's, thoughts on the sincerity of purpose when it comes to fighting insecurity?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, since I'm part of what is happening, I'm not talking from the bystander's position. The government is actually doing all it can, but I'm telling you, their operational strategy is wrong. The way the government is spending money, serious money, on to ensure security in Nigeria, but they lack this kind of strategy to deal with this situation, and they are not looking for experts who can assist them to deal with this situation in so many fronts. Just imagine Nigeria, just our rail, Abuja rail. How many times it's been destroyed now? You understand what I'm saying? So the government, the president made a statement the other time. He said it's all about intelligence, 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 which is the truth. This thing cannot be achieved, success cannot be achieved, security cannot be achieved in Nigeria without proper intelligence. You need an organization that is spread, that has farmers in it, that has all kinds of peasants operating within the organization and within the communities in Nigeria where most of these things are happening. You need to be able to link them together so that you can be getting authentic informations and intelligence. So I mean, it is the government is given a priority on security, but it is misappropriated in the strategy adopted.
All right, we're bringing another caller quickly. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Comrade Victor. Please,
Comrade Victor, go ahead.
I've had much of your guests and I want to appreciate his effort and all of that. But I want to be more optimistic. That the conspiracy theories believe that what we are seeing today is as a result of sentiment, religious sentiment. And this thing has come to the peak that we have to, hit the nail of the wall. Our brothers from the north, with due respect, our brothers from the north are not doing the best they could. There's a whole lot of sentiment, religious-wise. And that is why the security has deteriorated to this level that it is. Now,
Victor, I hope you realize that insecurity is not just in the north; it's also in the southwest and the southeast. Almost every part of the country is insecure at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm coming to that. I quite agree with you, but it's more in the north, which some of us are concerned. Because what happens to Mr. A happens to Mr. B. All right? There was this quick. The present administration was very quick enough to have found Nnamdi Kanu and named his organization a terrorist organization. This is an organization that has never won the carried arm to fight against the state. But people that have been sponsoring terrorism, look at the way people are being killed. Look at the way people are being maimed on a daily basis. And nobody, and this present government cannot find out a single person or even name one person that the sponsors of the insurgency, Boko Haram, they are not angels. They are human beings. In fact, I'm telling you this with due respect. I'm a youth leader, and from the information I gathered, I want to tell you this, that the police, that the security apparatus has division, that we have Christian police, we have Christian army, we have Muslim army, we have Muslim police, and this is how it is.
Victor, that's not the way to go about. That's not the way to talk about insecurity. If you're talking about insecurity, we're talking about national issue. It shouldn't be, tribalized or sectionalized. First of all, you said that. Hold on. First of all, you said that people in the members of the IPOB had never carried arms against the people, against Nigerians, and that's not entirely true. We've had situations where the leader of the IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, have made comments on air, made comments on social media that naturally should not be made, that threatens the lives of individuals and communities. So how would we now shy away from that because we're talking about the insecurity in the north? It doesn't make sense.
Now, yeah, I agree with you on that. But why is it that no single individual is being named from the other side who are supporting insurgents and all of that? Not even a single arrest is made one day. What the federal government is saying?
Are you serious that no arrests have been made? Victor, that's not true. You know that's not true. Arrests have been made. People have died. People have actually been killed in the forefront. So we can't really dispute that fact. Let's stick to the facts as it is and not try to create sentiments. The Nigerian army is the Nigerian army. It shouldn't be. It's not a tribalized army. I don't think it is.
It's not.
So now looking at the situation, there seems to be distrust and a serious disconnect amongst Nigerians, because as it is, we have protests going on in the north saying secure the north. The north is bleeding. Meanwhile, the insecurity is not just in the north. There's insecurity in the southwest. There's insecurity in the southeast. But when we talk about these things, we tend to sectionalize them.
Well, if you look at what are the statistics that the global body arrived to say Nigeria is the second most terrorized country, is the amount of people that have lost their life due to insecurity, and amount of families that have been displaced because of insecurity. I don't think the kind of quantum of insecurity and death and people's misplacement that is happening in the north is happening anywhere in the country. So if we must state the truth as it is, the north is more hit than this, and that's why anybody that is saying religion doesn't even know what he's talking about. Like the last caller, he's completely disconnected to the reality of the situation. And Nigerian army, for the statement of facts, and the Nigerian police, they are national police and they are national army. They have nothing to do with tribalism, nothing to do with religion or sectionalism. They are professionals in their own right, and they are doing what they are doing, even though they lack manpower. even though they lack support and technological support, we have seen how much effort they have been put in place. We have seen how much look, when what Lai Mohammed was saying was a good fact. Nigeria in 2015 was like a war zone. If I'm traveling to Kaduna, I have more than 20 roadblocks, and I'm traveling under serious tension. Even within Abuja town, there are roadblocks everywhere. So today those roadblocks are off. In fact, the tension is down.
Are we sure that the tension is down? Because people still cannot travel.
Listen, the tension is down because American government never approached me for any advice again. At one time, in 2015, they want to move their consulate away from Abuja to Lagos because of the fear of heat of Abuja. How many times have Abuja been hit? Since during this government, how many times have Abuja been hit? Not one. You see, we cannot say we are taking away the whole credit from somebody who has performed relatively well from another angle, and another issues are erupting. This eruption of bandits and the rest were something we have stated since 2012 and 2013. But the problem is that if something didn't happen in Nigeria, nobody is proactive. Even our security system, they are just reactionary. They are not proactive in nature. Nobody seems to tell me something that is going to happen to Nigeria in the next 100 years. Nobody, even the Minister of National Planning, cannot tell us clearly this is Nigerian roadmap in the next 20, 30 years. I think Nigerians should come out of the woods and start thinking ahead and start planning for the future of generation of this country. This is my problem with my country. My country doesn't have a roadmap, a clear roadmap in the next 100 years. And Nigeria, as a leader of the black nations in the world, as the most populous black nation in the world, and the #1 in Africa. If President Buhari doesn't know that he's the #1 president in Africa, let me tell him today that President Muhammadu Buhari and any such president in Nigeria is the #1 president in Africa. And Nigeria is the most hit from the international community, the international politics, and there are enemies of Nigeria that want to compromise Nigeria security-wise. So Nigeria must sit with highly intelligent Nigerians, highly professional Nigerians, to look at how to solve Nigerian problem professionally, and we can stop this. We have seen China when it blocks its nation from external involvement, and then take that 50 years of its time or 40 to reorganize itself. Today, China is the creditor of the whole world, giving credit to over 200 countries today in the world. So we can reorganize ourselves. If Nigeria failed, the whole of Africans have failed. Nigeria, for all intent and purposes, is the backbone of the African man, the African nation. So we must take that steering. We must go back to that front wheel. We must be the drivers. And unless Nigeria get it right, no African nation will get it.
Let's spice up your day. Tune in to a breath of fresh air. It's all fun and games until it gets extra and better. 102.3 Extra, weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Olije. Cheers to something new.
Eagles FM just clocked 1 year, and we have something special for you during this Yuletide season. Guess what? Not 10, not 20, not 30, but 45% off on all advert placements. Get 45% off on our 1-year anniversary discount. Promo runs from 6th to 30th December 2021. Take advantage of this mouth-watering offer.
Overthinking no is a problem.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning Rise with
Prince. 9:47 is the time. This is your radio experience. You can count on. You're on Eagles Outlook. This morning we're talking about the DSS warning of National Assembly members across the country to be careful that they may be susceptible to kidnaps and killings. And while that report came out yesterday, hours later, We heard of the killing. This warning goes out to all Nigerians as the Yuletide draws closer. You want to be, a little more careful and a little more cautious. Our guest this morning is Dr. Sani Aliyu, who is the Commandant General of the National Nigeria Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization, NESO. He's talking with us. You can share your thoughts as well. Join the conversation. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. We have a few more minutes to close this. And so I'll ask you, Dr. Aliyu, there's a report that, the salary of the Nigerian police would be increased by 20% come January 2022. Do you think that this would boost the morale of the Nigerian police? Before you respond to that, let's bring in this caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. What's your name?
Well, I don't have much. This is Victor calling back. I don't have much. But I don't think I can contribute within your best because you didn't appear to be parochial. So good luck, and I wish you a good
we wish you the best too. Thank you very much. When you speak about parochialism, I don't think of being parochial. I think that you're the one who needs to understand that when we're talking about national issues, it should be national and not still speaking based on a particular personal sentiment or, a sectionalism. That should not be the way to go. Hello, good morning. Okay, let's do more conversations. Now, the increment in the police salary, do you think it's going to boost the morale of the police?
Well, I think it's one of the ways to actually appreciate the Nigerian police services, what they have been providing to Nigeria. And again, it shouldn't only stop at increasing their increment of salary. It is equally going to be good if the government will equip them more. They need more equipment, and that is why they are shrinking away from the isometric fight, because they don't have what it takes to even be there. So I think it's a good development that the government is appreciating what the services they are giving to the country, and that will increase, that will boost the morale of the Nigerian police. We hope that with the increment of 20%, we will stop seeing police collecting 20 naira from the innocent Nigerians on the street.
Well, very important. It's one of the calls that many Nigerians had, especially during the #EndSARS protest, that the welfare of the Nigerian police be taken seriously and improved. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mihanacha. My name is The Ringtone.
The Ringtone, good to have you.
It's a good thing that indeed the Nigerian government are saying let's increase the police salary by 20%. Okay, but there's more to it than that. Okay. It's not about increasing their salaries. Okay, give them better working conditions. Give them good housing schemes. Okay, where are they living? Are they comfortable? Is their family? Are they comfortable? Are you providing them with quality schools where they can afford to pay their children's school fees or pay something little or close to nothing? If you don't do that, whatever you increase their salary, change their mentality. Okay, it won't change it. That said, okay, the insecurity issue. Okay, your guest has said so many things. Okay, but I also want you to understand something. This security issue or this challenge is way, way, way more than what we are seeing. The government naming names or bringing out the sponsors and what have you. It's not easy for them, yes, but it has to be done. I'm not one to sectionalize or tribalize. Oh, Nnamdi Kanu was called out or blah, blah, blah. But if they can call Nnamdi Kanu out, what is stopping them from calling these high-ranking Nigerians? Most of them, oftentimes they tell us they're in the government. Most of them are in the corridor of power. Why can't they name these people?
All right, Ringtone.
So that we know what we are faced with. You see, let us find the goats when there is day, the black goat when there is daytime.
Very well.
Not at night.
Thank you so much, Ringtone. I appreciate that one. Let's find the black goat while it's day, not at night. I love one last statement as we close.
The difference between Kanu and the sponsor of bandits or terrorism is that Kanu was making pronouncement and giving orders for heinous crimes to be taken by his IPOP section. He was known for doing so. And in this aspect of sponsors, you don't even see them, you don't hear them, you don't know them. So it is suspicious. You are suspecting them. It is not easy for you to just arrest somebody because based on suspicions of his movement or his activities, and you just start naming him or showing him on the screen without actually a proper investigation and carrying out a prosecution that will make him guilty of what you are suspecting him to. So that of Kanu is a complete different ball game to what we are talking about, the sponsors of terrorism and banditry in Nigeria.
Dr. Sani Aliyu, Commandant General of the Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization, thank you so much for talking with us this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Olije, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I like the simple look.
Yeah, I mean, life is too complicated already. Let's make it simple.
Okay, good to see you this morning.
Yeah,
what's coming on?
Baby Friday.
Yeah, it's Baby Friday. What's happening?
What's up?
Nothing much. We're just here.
Social distancing.
Yes, we should be.
Literally.
We should be social distancing some more this time around because the weather is something else. Yes, and if you're not down yet, please take caution.
Yes.
Protect yourself as much as you can. Boost your immunity. Exactly. Exactly.
Very
So,
important.
yes, the girlfriend's coming on. Oh no! Oh, sorry. It's the top 10.
Yes,
top 10 countdown.
10, we have 11 flags. We've got a king and a queen. But I have a question for you. Your
Yes.
favorite food beans. You don't need to say.
Yeah.
So if you were given just $1 million to stay off of it for 1 year, would you?
1 million naira.
Yes.
1 million naira. It's small.
I like the answer.
It's small.
Because some people, because if I say 10 million, you will agree.
10 million. I'll stay off in 10 years.
Million.
10 million for 10 years. No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around here on your radio experience. You can count on. My name is Ian Nacho Prince. Business News is up next. Right after that, 102.3 Extra Full Swing.
Eagles 102.3.
Welcome to Eagles 102.3 News Beats. Here is the business news beats. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Gordon Emefiele, has said roads constructed in the country will be told to repay the loans used to fund them. The CBN governor stated this while answering questions after the 2-day retreat of the Bankers Committee in Lagos. Emefiele said there are a lot of idle funds that can be channeled within the financial system if packaged the way Infrastructure Corporation of Nigeria Limited has been set up to give comfort to local investors to put their funds in the project. He said most of the funds will be in Naira because the banks and pension fund administrators have a large pool of funds, and most of the funds can be raised locally before the country begins to think of accessing international finance. The National Bureau of Statistics says the inflation rate in Nigeria fell in November to 15.40%, being the lowest since December last year. The NBS in its Consumer Price Index report on Wednesday said the inflation rate fell by 0.59% from 15.99% in October. The drop in headline inflation began in April when it fell to 18.12% from 18.17% in March. The NBS said on a month-on-month basis, the headline index increased by 1.08% in November, which was 0.10% higher than the rate recorded in October. Rural index also rose by 1.04% in November compared to 0.95% in October. The NBS disclosed that the composite food index rose by 17.21% in November 2020 compared to 18.30% in November 2021. Nigeria spent 2.49 trillion naira on debt servicing payments in the first 9 months of 2021. These are obtained from the Debt Management Office has revealed that between January and March 2021, Nigeria spent 612.71 billion naira on domestic debt servicing, while it spent 410.83 billion naira on external debt servicing, giving a total of 1.02 trillion naira. From April to June 2021, the country spent 322.7 billion naira on domestic debt servicing and 122.83 billion naira on external debt servicing, showing a total of 445.53 billion naira. From July to September 2021, Nigeria spent 808.49 billion naira on domestic debt servicing and 213.95 billion naira on external debt servicing, giving a total of 1.02 trillion naira. The National Assembly has failed to meet its target on the passage of the 2022 Appropriation Bill. The House of Representatives has specifically scheduled the laying of the report on federal government budget proposal by the Committee on Appropriations for Tuesday, while it was expected to be considered and adopted on Wednesday. After the passage of the budget, the House had proposed to proceed on Christmas and New Year break on Thursday. However, the committee failed to lay the report on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Senate, however, blamed the delay on the budgets proposed by the Independent National Electoral Commission for the conduct of the 2023 general elections and the National Population Commission for the conduct of the 2022 census. Federal
Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning has called for the stripping of the Nigerian Customs Service of the responsibility of revenue collection. According to the ministry, the responsibility should be transferred to the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Ships and ports reported that the stakeholders in the sector opposed the passage of the Customs and Excise Management Amendment Act, saying several provisions in it were draconian and against global best practices. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Aliyu Ahmed, said at the public hearing that there was a need to unify revenue collection to enable customs to concentrate on its responsibility of trade facilitation. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency has said it is seeking the partnership of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to stop illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing activities on Nigerian waters. The Director General of NIMASA, Bashir Jamo, said this in a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, Mahmoud Abubakar. According to him, the IUU is a threat to the livelihood of legitimate fishing investors. Jamo said aside from fighting piracy, sea robbery, oil theft, and other maritime vices, the Deep Blue project, which enjoyed the full support of President Muhammadu Buhari, was aimed at preventing unlawful commercial activities like unregulated fishing on Nigerian waters. And finally, the World Bank has announced a $93 billion replenishment package of the International Development Association to help 74 low-income countries respond to the COVID-19 crisis and build a greener, more resilient and inclusive future. The Bretton Woods institution said in a statement that the financing brought together $23.5 billion of contributions from 48 high and middle-income countries with financing raised in the capital markets, repayments and World Bank's own contributions. It described the financing package agreed over a two-day meeting hosted virtually by Japan as the largest ever mobilized in IDA's 61-year history. That's the news. I am Paulum David. Good morning.
Thanks for listening. Join us again for more updates on Eagles 102.